What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to be talking about Lading of Blossom Realm Melissa, because let's be honest, we've just been talking about the event because the event's been pretty solid overall, but I did want to speak to what I think about this hero so far. I haven't been able to test her much, and most of my testing hasn't been like even video worthy. It's just been me messing around with stuff. If you do have her fully built or have her on like a mid-game account and you have her built as a support hero, please let me know. I'd love to jump on your account to test her, because, well, she seems like a very good overall hero. I mean, everything about her kit is very, very strong. She has buffing, she has debuffing, her dream magic and her mirror magic, very, very good at keeping both herself buffed and her allies. The fact that she can remove control effects from allies while also potentially giving them energy, really, really awesome. And one thing we haven't talked about is her sublimation tree, because as we know, all these effects can get changed or modified based on this tree, and this one's actually pretty good. So additionally, releasing active skills additionally reduces backline enemies damage reduction, so that's kind of a nice little effect because her ability only hits frontline, so if it can also lower the damage of backline, that is awesome. And then increases the dream magic's duration by 1 round as well. Now, that's not huge, but that is like a 25% buff because they typically last 3 rounds, and these things are very, very strong, including increasing your speed and control immunity, increasing all damage dealt, and of course shielding the lowest HP ally. So really good kit where she can buff the strongest hero, give benefits to the fastest hero, and shielding the lowest HP hero. Really, really good. The only downside of this hero is the base attack isn't as impactful. Only hits one enemy, increases all ally speed by 20, but speed like that usually isn't that influential even in PvP. But it says additionally grants 20% more control immunity offset to the ally with the highest speed. So someone using a Dragon Rui, perfect setup right there. You are also going to be additionally increasing their precision, so you don't have to go for precision on the hero as much when you do that. 50% chance to reduce the target speed, doesn't really matter as much, but 50% chance of granting 50 energy to the ally with a high speed, and usually that is a CC'er like Therapist Blood Betty or something. That is a really cool synergy that I do like from her tree. Next up, this is the one talking about taking away those control effects. If she has 30 or more energy, she consumes it and takes an effect off. When an ally's HP below 30% for the first time, again, she can reduce her energy by 30 and create a shield, which is really, really awesome, while also giving them a Power of Dreamland. 3 layers can be had up to this. When Power of Dream is stacked to 3, consumes all of them. When self launches base attack next time, replacing it in base kit with the basically this right here, the Dream Domain, which is really, really awesome. This can also be modified. When removing that control effect from an ally, it will also give them a shield, which is really cool. And lastly, layers of Power Dream and needed to replace the basic attack is -1, meaning you only need 2 layers, which makes it so much easier to make happen. Lastly, Mirror Magic. These are the buffs that happen essentially at the beginning of battle, and they last to the end of battle. Some of them are control immunity speed, others are 10% damage dealt, which is really, really awesome, allowing them to deal extra damage. I think this right here might become meta, we'll have to see. And also protection, which is just really, really awesome. This can further be modified for every 1 type of mirror magic owned by self. Additionally increases damage reduction, so better survivability, and beyond that, rounds that you get that duration is +1. So that's this secondary effect down here that's really, really good. This is the revival effect that I think a lot of people aren't talking about, because after losing 3 mirror magic, you gain fictional magic for 2 rounds. Revival cannot be triggered when the owner has the fictional magic. You gain 100 energy immediately and increases energy by 100 at the end of each round. When fictional magic becomes ineffective, a revival cannot be triggered again. So that's really, really interesting. It's an effect that we haven't really seen since like Carrie essentially, but it's not a permanent one like hers. And furthermore, her core is interesting as well, because the end of each round grants allies the following magic based on which one she has, so they can get speed, damage dealt, or shielding. So kind of good. I like it. This kit sounds very good, but it goes even further when we jump over to Destiny Transition. She has a lot of words to read here, so we're going to go through this kind of slow. So first up is the transition skill itself. When she gets 6 layers of transition power, consumes them, and deals damage to frontline enemies, the damage dealt is equal to 30% of their max HP. Afterward triggers one of the following effects. So the damage part Really not important. The secondary ones are increases attack by 20% for 2 rounds for an ally with wings effect and grants 1 more attempt to remove control effects. That is really good. Number 2, increases all damage reduction for an ally with magnification effect. Number 3, B sugarcoat on any ally with the protection effect. So this is basically enhancing her mirror wings even further. I really like this bonus 20% for 2 rounds. I don't know if that technically means you can stack it. We'll have to see. But really good. Coming over here, increasing allies armor by 35% is a big buff, especially if you're going for armor on a hero. Restores 1 ally with lowest HP for 8% of max health. Not a huge heal, but still a nice little convenience. And additionally, increase backline allies holy damage 10%. That could be good if you're buffing like a Lord of Fear Aspen or something. Second, pivot additionally increases allies effect being healed. Usually not that important. This one's usually pretty good. Additionally increases backline allies damage reduction, and lastly additionally increases the all damage dealt of 1 ally with the highest attack by 15%. That's probably the one you're going to be using most often. Next up, we have additionally reduces backline enemies attack, so that increases the team's survivability. Number 2, additionally reduces the all damage dealt of 2 enemies with the highest attack. That can be really solid. And then additionally reduces the speed of 1 enemy. I usually don't like speed ones because I just don't really care about PvP. If that's your fancy, cool. And then lastly over here, additionally increases all backline allies all damage dealt by 10%. That's just like that. You can't really beat that right there. Yeah, you can restore HP. Yeah, you can do speed, but increasing backline allies all damage dealt is just kind of crazy. And it seems like if you are doing even like Star Expedition or something like that with her in your squad, you're gonna want your Aspen in the back line. Now finally, the fully upgraded transition power now says when you get to 12 layers instead of 6, you consume them to deal damage to all enemies, and then the damage dealt is much higher, which is cool. But afterward, you trigger pretty much the same exact effects we had before. They're just kind of buffed up. It does do more damage. Don't really care about the damage that much. And overall, this hero's kit feels like it's really good for a support hero. Now, if you had a chance to test her out, please hit me up on Discord. If you have her on one of your accounts, again, please hit me up. This is not going to be like a first Transcendence hero that you build or anything like that. If anything, she might be like second or third, but even second seems a little bit too iffy. As far as a homeowner, that's probably not going to happen. However, if you are going for like a really weird Natalia build, it could work out. Like, I'll be honest, it kind of sounds interesting going for Doppelganger Natalia as a first Transcendence. The downside is her Tenant 2 spot really sucks. If there's like a Therapist of Blood Betty here, I'd be in love. Is she better than building a Doom Terminator Vulcan? Probably not, and that's why I'm like, she's a support hero. She's going to be a tenant for someone, but sadly, they all kind of suck. So here's my one hope. My hope here is that she becomes another tenant, but it's going to be a ways off. You can see how most of these don't have a second one in tenant spot 2 or tenant spot 4. Takes quite a while for that to happen. I'm really hoping she's like a tenant 2 or 4 slot for Alakita. I think that would be really awesome, but we don't really have any evidence that that would happen in that form, so we'll have to see. But if that could happen, if she could be like for Alakita, that could be an insanely 1-2 combo at the beginning of an account. So we'll have to see how it turns out. As it stands right now, it sucks. I do think that's going to be a topic I talk about, though, is the tenant situation, because I think it really limits who you build in the game. And if they kind of made it more free, it could be more fun to build some of these new heroes and instantly throw them into a team. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. The hero sounds very good, but until we can get full testing on here, we won't know for sure. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.